Good morning, everybody, and thanks to Battery for joining us. Today, my topic is management communication in a globalized environment for outsourcing. Let's start with a brief introduction. Um, a number of companies are outsourcing their projects globally and to save their cost and to maximize their profits. How could companies handle sophisticated projects remotely? There's huge investments involved. Sometimes the projects are of multi-millions as well. And in addition to that, there are three main core issues which we face when outsourcing the project from A location to B are like economical, cultural, political, and some other challenges as well. Some examples are like in China, we know that every brand has a made in China stamp behind the product. So most of the products are being developed into China. So and also in India, most of the software and the customer services has been outsourced to India. So this is where the management communication plays a key role in sorting out those challenges by communicating with the right persons at the right time in efficient and appropriate manners. Uh, Followed by communication versus globalization. So as I shown on the previous screen was that there are main three issues which we have to address using our management communication: economics, cultures, and politics, and some others. For a political point of view, the globalization can only happen when the countries are working together, the policies are working smoother. So globalization is taking place to bring people together. Political level countries are communicating with each other to make collaborative policies to work with each other. So, for example, we have European Union. So there are a lot of countries are working together. They even made a centralized currency as well so that a trade can happen more often. And then we have a UN which is trying to bring more peace into the whole world. And then we also have G20 which addresses all the internal and external political issues. MNCs have increased from 6,000 in 1990s to 65,000 as of today. The source is FT and Economist. Import and export policies have improved. That's the result why we are able to import the things from China and still they are economical. And global incentives have increased from 13 billion in 1970s to 1800 billion as of today. So there is a huge trade going on in the whole world with the 1800 billion to be invested. Again, like if there is no communication, how would that money be managed efficiently? Communication and outsourcing. Jean and Grossman from Preston University says, outsourcing means more than just purchase raw material and standardized intermediate routes. It means finding a partner with which a firm can establish a bilateral relationship and having the partner undertake relationship-specific investments so that it becomes able to produce goods or services that fits the firm's particular needs. So it's all about building the relationships and partnerships. Again, to build a relationship and developing partnership, management communication plays a vital role. But there are barriers when we are addressing different communities and different people from A country to B country. There are communication barriers. Communication barriers are specifically emotional barriers, psychological barriers, organizational barriers, cultural barriers, geographical barriers, and technological barriers. These all impact into three different type of communication which takes place. Either it could be oral, it could be non-verbal, or it could be in written format. For example, if you were to send an email to India and we want to be very direct, I want this done, they might not take it very seriously. So they want like a relationship, like a friendliness into the email. If I say, hey buddy, how you doing? Right? How's family and everything? Okay, then we talk about the work. That did my work get done? He is more tendency that he's going to respond much efficient and faster way in comparison to the direct patterns. Cultural barriers in so I'll address the cultural barriers. There are others to be addressed as well jointly, but I'll specifically focus currently on cultural barriers in communication. Different locations have different cultures. The communication is required to be tuned as per the geographies. So our animation and emotions has to be tuned accordingly. Direct or indirect approach, the way I have given the Indian example, it could be direct or indirect approach. We have to adjust that. Eye contact, for example, it's quite surprising that in Arabic countries we can't eye contact the person. We have to be with down when we are maintaining a communication with them. So accent has to be maintained, and gestures, taking turns and pauses, and vocal patterns as well. Okay. So what is the scope? Again, going back to three core areas which we have to address: political, economical, and culture. The things have started to move. For example, in political, alliances such as UN, European Union, G20 summits are contributing to create better policies to dialogue with other countries. They already having a communication. Every year there are meetings happening in order to make the things better. Economical, cost effective to use labor and machines remotely to help companies gain more and more profit. Every company is looking to maximize their profit. They are going to invest into other countries in order to generate as much money as possible. Again, like that, there would be a variable cost such as labor and machines has to be maintained. Culturally, it is quite very interesting that we are living into a social networking world. The good thing in social networking is that with the help of technology, social media such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Skype is helping people to know different cultures. It wasn't possible. Now we using Facebook and other medias. We know that how the cultures are differentiating and how we are able to adjust ourselves and tune ourselves according to the different cultures. Future prospects. Companies' communication strategies can really help in bringing growth in company while outsourcing their projects from location to one location to other location globally. There are different level of communications in a management. The communication can be downward. Downward is like there's a manager and giving instruction to his bottom, like underneath his all team members. That is a downward communication. Then we have outward communication, means the staff is pushing the data, the reports, and everything going to the managers. It is the upward communication. Then we have a horizontal communication, means how the staff is giving the information from one staff to other staff and the other staff and other staff without having a grapevine involved. So that's where the communication plays a very important role. Then we have a diagonal communication. That's like one department to another department. For example, HR department is working in technology. If technology breaks down, how exactly the HR department is going to work? That kind of a diagonal communication. These all contribute toward improving the communication, and which can result into better future. Now, few techniques which we can develop jointly together, and I propose to pick this topic up, and I also propose that we were to create a video of it so that it can help. The point is that there are political issues being addressed, there are economical issues being addressed, cultural issues have been addressed. But as per my research as of now, in outsourcing, the communication area has not yet been touched at how exactly this can happen. So the fourth component is actually a globalized component which we should be addressing, and this is going to be a research jointly together so that we can actually publish a research paper that how communication in the globalized outsourcing environment can help companies work better. And of course, there will be conflicts which we have to manage. There will be a lot of other things which we have to manage, and I think jointly we can manage. Some points are like creating the company communication policies. Like we can create email templates, so if the companies are communicating in different locations, there could be one standard templates which can be used. There can be report templates, so all the companies are maintaining one sort of template, reporting templates, reporting patterns, so we know each other. And then team briefing methods. So when the message is given from downward communication or upward communication, it should be there should be methods defined and providing the direct training. So once we have all these, there should be a centralized training center. I think that it's very important that the headquarters should maintain the centralized communication center to provide the training to all the outsourcing centers, as many locations wherever the operations are happening. And of course, there's technology can help us a lot. There are SAS means software as a service or cloud-based technology softwares are available. We can use project management software and use like Gantt charts and everything, which is completely online. There is a Microsoft project which is quite offline at the moment, but they are working on to it cloud-based. But yeah, there are other softwares available in cloud-based which we can use. With that, I want my presentation. Thank you very much. I hope you like it. Any questions?
Could you explain what diagonal communication was again?
Sorry, what's that? Diagonal?
Yeah, I didn't quite get that one.
It is between one department to another department. For example, we have like in a company, we have a financial department, we have a IT department, or we have a sales and marketing department and HR department. So let's say we want to increase our sales, yeah, and the accounting department is not giving us the budget because they didn't get appropriate budget assigned from the management. So if that thing did not happen, there's a breakdown in the communication, which we have to address. That if the things are not happening, how can we escalate that point in order to the higher level, in order to get the information and approval much quicker, so that the sales department can process their task. Every task is interconnected, as in Gantt chart. One thing breaks down, there's a huge impact into the whole company.
I really found it interesting how you were talking about the different cultures and how interaction and business, you have to really be aware of what culture they're from and how to interact successfully with them. So where do you see that kind of moving forward, I guess, if we were to do this as a team project?
Very interesting question. As there was like... these are the two stacks. I have more stacks. There are like MNCs expanding from different locations, right? I mean, in India itself, the GDP has increased to $1.8 trillion as of now, which is at 9th position in the whole world. And plus, the China is at 2nd position, I guess, at this moment. So the point is that how can the culture, if you were to understand the culture effectively, and we know how to adjust ourselves into the cultures, it can really give a personal touch with the community. At the end of the day, we are human beings, and we all want, like, if the other person understands me in the culturally, and I understand the other person culturally, we can like work, we can mix up each other more together. And yeah, for example, like if I was to go to India, an Indian wedding, and Tom is visiting me as a business partner, if I take Tom to my brothers or friends Indian wedding, would Tom like that? Of course he will like that, and that will build our personal relationship, and that will bring us more opportunities in future.
Okay.
So, yep. Yes, Doris.
How can a project management software help me to communicate better? You mentioned that the types for communication, but it's software.
There are certain softwares, and there are softwares like SAS-based softwares. I can show you if you like. There is one software called Zoho Project, and I have been using quite a lot. And there is one software called Basecamp, and these are the softwares being used for outsourcing projects. So once we open our project in that software, the project manager gets allocated, and then whichever task he is assigning to underneath his team, all the team members are assigned onto one centralized software. And at the headquarters, we know that what action, it's like a Facebook, it's like a stream. If somebody has completed a job, he will input that I completed this job, and that information is pushed into the timeline that who's completed. At the end of the day, we analyze how many tasks have been completed and how exactly the business is progressing. And not only that, it converts into our report charts. It generates a report that if X amount of person has worked on this, it has generated X amount of expenditure. Or if I'm lacking somewhere, if somebody has gone off sick, it also reports back that this person it can alert as it gets read that this person is off sick, and because of this, the effect to this business is getting a lot. So we need a new person, new resource right now.
Okay. So it makes sure that everyone is informed, that everyone is up to date.
Everyone, the technology is get even better. Like we have apps as well, so everything is pushed into our apps. So if I have to address something very urgently, the message pops into my smartphone instantly. Like I have to do this task immediately, and let's say if I'm writing a program, and that program requires addressing something, I'll immediately address that issue and institute that is addressed. Okay. Thank you very much.